Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 3rd July 2018. The first issue in news is regarding the petition filed in the Supreme Court on the recent amendments made to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. The amendments, which were passed as a money bill, changed the definition of what is a foreign company, thereby negating the verdict of the Delhi High Court in 2014, which had held the two national parties, namely the ruling BJP and the opposition Congress party, for receiving foreign funds from two subsidiaries of Vedanta, which is a UK-based company. The Representation of People Act bars political parties from receiving foreign funds, and the Delhi High Court, which had held the two major national political parties guilty of taking foreign funds, directed the Centre and the Election Commission of India to take action against these two parties within 6 months. Therefore, the petitioner argues that the amendments to the FCRA Act was brought in to overrule the judgment of the Delhi High Court, which is against the settled principles of separation of powers. We'll further look into this issue based on the future developments. Till then, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding a draft bill to create a Higher Education Commission of India to repeal the University Grants Commission, which is put forward in the public domain by the central government. The government has recently said that there is no decision taken to shift the powers of the University Grants Commission, which issues financial grants to universities, to the Ministry of Human Resource Development. It has, however, said that many committees have recommended in this regard, and the proposed new system would be based on pure merit and objectivity. For further details on this issue, please go back and watch the monthly current affairs roundup video of the previous month. The next issue in news is regarding the Supreme Court notice issued to the government in connection to a petition which has highlighted the large number of vacancies in the central as well as several state information commissions. These vacancies have crippled the functioning of the Right to Information Act and has resulted in a huge backlog of pending cases. This is because, due to the non-appointment of information commissioners, several information commissions take many months and in some cases even years to decide on the appeals and complaints, thereby defeating the entire objective of the RTI Act. Currently, there are 4 vacancies in the Central Information Commission and also the State Information Commissions of Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka, Odisha, Telangana, West Bengal, etc. have varying levels of vacancies, thereby resulting in piling up of appeals and complaints. Given that information commissioners are the final adjudicators under the RTI Act, they are crucial in upholding transparency in governance. Therefore, the government should look into this issue seriously and fill up the vacancies as soon as possible. With that, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the implementation of GST. It's been 1 year since the new tax system has been put in place, and since then, it has evolved significantly to rectify several implementation issues like the creation of IT infrastructure under the GSTN, rationalization of items in the highest tax bracket of 28%, and many more through coordinated action between the center and states in the GST Council. As a result, the country's tax net has widened, and many of the sectors which were so far driven by cash and constituted the informal economy have been brought under the GST's ambit. This expansion will also help to increase the collections of direct taxes, but recently the Prime Minister has hinted at lowering the rates for more items and further rationalizing the GST structure. In this regard, there must be a roadmap to bring excluded products such as petroleum, real estate, electricity, etc. under the GST ambit, and the GST Council must pursue a time-bound approach to each tax compliance, such as an e-wallet for exporters and a simpler return form for GST. This is essential to improve the tax buoyancy, and the government should resist from any populist measures in order to bring down the tax rates ahead of the general elections. On that note, Let's move on to the next issue. The next issue in news is regarding the amendment of the intellectual property rules by the Union Ministry of Finance. The amendments revoke the power vested with the customs authority to seize imported products based on complaints of patent infringement. In this regard, it omits all references to the Patents Act of 1970, thereby addressing the concerns of several importers. As of now, there is not much clarity on the impact of this decision, and we'll further look into it in the days to come. Till then, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the stalemate in the bilateral relations between India and Maldives. The developments in the island nation are worrisome as the deadline for India to withdraw its helicopters has passed and the issue of visas of Indians has remained unresolved, with many companies in the Maldives calling for job applicants who are not Indians. I have already covered the issue in detail in yesterday's roundup video, and I request those who have missed it to go back and watch the same. The next issue in news is regarding the issue of red notice by the Interpol against diamond merchant Nirav Modi and his brother on the request of the Enforcement Directorate in connection to the Punjab National Bank fraud. The red notice not only restricts a fugitive's movement but also empowers the enforcement agencies in respective foreign countries to detain the person for deportation or extradition to the requesting country. This is important because it gives high and international visibility to cases, thereby making international travel difficult for criminals and other suspected individuals. Once the red corner notice is issued, countries can request and share critical information linked to an investigation, but the Interpol cannot compel any member country to arrest an individual who is the subject of a red notice. In this regard, each member country decides for itself how it handles the red notice within its borders. Now let's look into the other issues in news. The first one being on the decision of the government to store the census data of 2021 electronically rather than on paper, which itself constituted crores of pages, thereby occupying lots of space in the government office. Also, it has said that any tampering with the census data will invite punishment under the IT Act of 2000 due to electronic means of storage. The final issue in news today is the call given by the Union Home Ministry for states to look into various incidents of lynching which have occurred in different parts of the country due to rumors of child lifting which has spread primarily through social media like WhatsApp. I have already covered this issue in detail in yesterday's roundup video, and I request those who have missed it to go back and watch the same. For now, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.